as me and Emily finally got finished getting dressed and ready for the day, and headed downstairs to make our way to Titan. That way we could ride to biotech together. We arrived into the front room to an interesting display. There had been a crate moved into the front room, and a number of boxes scattered about the floor. These were obviously the weapons that we ordered from biotech. We ordered in some new gear for everyone. Make sure that everyone was prepared and ready for if something went down. My crew was, of course, completely ready for their weaponry. I had actually suggested to my family that they should probably get some training in firearms. My mother outright refused under any circumstance. Michael said that he had already tried a few guns in the past, but never really found a need to actually carry one, or get any serious training in their use, but didn't have a problem picking it up, if it was really important to stay secure. My father actually surprised me a great deal by saying that he was already extremely proficient with firearms, and after a demonstration, I was shocked to find that he was not bluffing. We tried a myriad of weapons, handheld blades, guns, assault rifles. It seemed like regardless of what the weapon was, he was, well, damn good at using it. It was then that my father explained to me that he used to be a soldier, spending a fair amount of his younger years before he took control of biotech, working in the security division, getting trained in the use of every weapon imaginable. He even received martial arts training. That was before his father passed away and he took control of the company. He had already met my mother at that point, but as of yet was unsuccessful in wooing her. Apparently, she played very hard to get, for an exceptionally long period of time apparently, saying that originally she found my father a bit brutish, and only warmed to him over time, as she found that his attraction to her was not sheerly one of availability. But I suppose that's beside the point. Currently, Emily and me were staring at Danny, Al, and the doctors standing around these cases. Al and Danny were looking over their newly acquired weapons. Both Al and Danny had requested custom weaponry. Al was fairly comfortable with the use of a revolver, a very reliable, hard to break, hard to damage, and hard to screw up weapon. But biotech didn't exactly manufacture low-tech weaponry, so they had to produce something just for him, designing it in the format of a revolver. Basically, it was an energy weapon, but with a bit of a twist. It was shaped and looked like a revolver, and the energy cartridge that went into it looked like the 6 rounds that go into a revolver, all loading in a single go-round, produced to make a high-intensity energy shot. Each round fired 3 times, unlike the single fire round that you get out of a revolver bullet, after which you have to dispense of the cartridge and replace it with a new one. The color of the individual cartridges would change depending on how many shots he had left, going from green for 3 shots per cartridge, yellow when he's down to 2, and red when there's only 1 shot left in each cartridge. The gun itself actually looked very cool, and despite the unorthodox nature of his request, some of the engineers at biotech were actually thinking about making that a mainstay. People had gotten so used to regular cartridges, but the format that Al wanted was actually far less prone to failure than the other methods. With a regular energy cartridge, if something goes wrong with the charging, the entire round is wasted. Basically, the cartridge is useless and has to be exchanged for a new one. so you could load a brand new cartridge. But the cartridge was faulty. It didn't charge correctly, or was damaged somehow. But with Al's little design, each bullet hole affecting 6 different cartridges. So even if a single cartridge didn't charge correctly or got damaged, the rest of them still functioned as cartridges all on their own, which was exceptionally useful in ensuring that you would have access to some level of fire, even if your gun got partially damaged. It wouldn't make the entire thing non-functional. And Danny, as I had come to expect from him, went full tilt. He ordered, once again, another custom weapon. But unlike Al, who went fairly minimalist, Danny went to the absolute maximum of firepower, ordering a heavy energy assault rifle with all the trimmings, the highest level of firepower that you could get. Honestly, it seemed like a bit too much gun. The thing was huge. Most people would barely be able to handle it, but Danny wasn't most people. His extremely stout frame and musculature made him strong enough to hold even extremely heavy weaponry with ease. After all, he wasn't much more than a pile of muscle when you get right down to it. Would you look at this baby? 28 shots per second. Maximum intensity energy output. Energy destruction equivalent to a 50 caliber round for each shot. Impulse grenade launcher attachment with a 10 round clip and a 100 round clip for the energy projectile element. Almost no recoil despite the immense power of the shots. A liquid nitrogen cooling system that prevents overheat and alterations to the metal due to high intensity heat levels from the shots. A 30 times amplification scope capable of increasing my line of sight 300 yards easily with pinpoint accuracy, laser sighting, and a hairpin trigger. Ah, baby, I think I'm in love, Danny said, smiling at the gargantuan gun in his grasp. I think I'm gonna sleep with this thing, tucked in right next to me, like a fucking teddy bear. I love it, he said, unable to wipe the massive smile off his face. I'm telling you, Doc, you should have ordered a gun. No, sorry. There's only one gun for me. But unfortunately, my lady is not available. But that will soon change. Once this damned courier arrives, they're certainly taking their sweet time. It's already been nearly a month, just sitting here wasting time waiting for it. Bastard. I wish he would hurry the hell up. Whatever his timeline is for his master plan, him having to have me wait is growing rapidly tiresome. So hold up, you do know how to use a gun, Danny said, looking over to the dock. Yes, I know how to use a gun. I'm also skilled in archery, swordplay, hand-to-hand combat, as you've seen. My personal choice of weaponry is a 5-round revolver. However, as I said, I don't currently have access to it. Oh, why don't you just get a new gun? I mean, it's gotta be better than not having one. What, did you lose it? Danny replied. No, I didn't lose it. I simply no longer have access to its power. And I assure you it will put whatever little gun you might have at your disposal to shame. Yeah, right. What kind of gun could put this beautiful piece of machinery to shame? I call bullshit. Oh, really? So I suppose your weapon was forged in the fires of hell by one of the 6 demon emperors? Created from the bones of an iron juggernaut? A being that stands nearly 600 foot tall, has iron bones, lava blood, and jaws that will rip the world asunder. I also suppose your gun has the ability to kill basically anything, not just physical beings, but spiritual ones, even beings that reside in other planes, astral entities, as well as possessing the ability to fire through the barrier of time, being able to fire a shot and hit somebody where they're going to be 5 minutes from now, or 5 seconds from now, depending on your choice. Even possessing the ability to kill those not in your presence. My gun could fire a shot and kill someone on the other side of the planet. So long as I am familiar with them, the bullet will find them regardless. But I suppose that your gun can do all those things, can't it? What the fuck? Danny replied. Where the hell are you getting your equipment? Whoever your armorer is, I need to talk to him. Sorry, that's not going to be possible, the doctor replied. My armor is in hell. My gun was stolen. And if I do pay him a visit again, the first thing he's going to want to do is kill me. So it's reasonable to say that we haven't chatted in a while. The doctor said, laughing maniacally once more. Yeah, whatever you say, Danny replied. Well, that does sound impressive, but I'll save believing for seeing, I said as I approached the group, with Emily beside me.